Let's be real right now. I feel like I was going with someone and we were good. I didn't know we were having any problems. He broke up with me and I, like a lady, took it and was like, okay, bid you adieu, have a great life. And then he hit me up in the morning like, I miss you and I want to get back with you. I'm still stuck on the breaking up part. Especially when I found out why you broke up with me, bitch. So, reading True Social, this is what Donald Trump had to say. I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. I will issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect so that we can make a deal to protect our national security. At least he said it in the first sentence. The order will also confirm that there will be no liability for any company that helped keep TikTok from going dark before my order. What? Americans deserve to see our exciting inauguration on Monday, as well as other events and conversations. You all deserve to have access to Trump, and you guys have been so great, TikTok, in broadcasting his messages, so we can't allow that to stop now. The party's just getting started. I would like the U.S. to have 50% ownership position in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands, and allow it to, and it says stay up instead of stay up because he wrote this himself. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. Well, that's not true, but okay. With our approval, it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe trillions. Interesting. Therefore, my initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and or new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership in a joint venture set up between the U.S. and whichever purchase we so choose. I thought the whole problem, guys, was about national security, but truly it's about economic gain. They've been leveraging this national security conversation when it's really about money. There are multiple industries here, absolutely. And the play now is we should own half of that. And they've been masquerading under the guise, they're taking your data. Now, we know, and if you don't know this, that there are apps on your phone right now that leverage more of your data than TikTok does. There are American companies that need to be chin checked that take more of your data, but there's not nary a mention of that. They actually benefit from that. There are child support agencies that are able to access your information off of Facebook, even if you use fake names and all that kind of stuff. So government loves that you have these apps open because they can find you and they can track you and that sort of thing. And they're like, TikTok doesn't work here unless we make it work here because we want to make it work for us. Now that 50% ownership almost sounded like we would all own it. No, that doesn't have anything to do with you. America would be able to leverage that. And all those trillions and billions and whatever he's talking about, the illions, those are not for any of us. The amount of money that people are making for themselves on TikTok is way, way smaller than they stand to make off of us. And they'll know for certain and have full knowledge of how much money you'll be making on this platform so that you pay your taxes, right? Because that's how they make money off of us. So it becomes a money grab beyond for the U.S. if they own half of this app, right? Then they also are going to make money off of the merchants and the fees that they pay to sell things on here, and money off of you for the amount of money that you make. This whole TikTok thing just became real dirty for me. It became, I'm like, oh, I'm a part of the grift and we're the product. We're the product. But we're also being pimped because we're the ones who keep the app going. If you don't create content here, then there's nothing to watch. If you don't put together your best makeup tutorials, then there's nothing to watch. So why are we being pimped right now? That is how all this stuff works. I know that. But it doesn't feel good knowing now that you're a part of the sale, right? And I'm not convinced that Zuckerberg is not making a move with all that's gone on in the past few days, with people getting alerts to link their Facebooks to their TikToks and vice versa, which sounds stupid and crazy. Do not do that. You do not want that audience having access to your TikTok. Do not do that. Don't. If you want to ask me why, take a piece of your content, post it on Facebook, and see what happens. Like flies to shit is the craziest stuff. The thing that pisses me off is that this is not a win-win for us. And they are pressuring them into selling it to the US. And I don't really appreciate the CEO using our own motivations, freedom of speech, and all of these American ideals to try to manipulate us into thinking that he was looking out for us. At the end of the day, he's looking out for his company. And TikTok as it stands will not exist in China because the content that they display here, they would never subject to their own people. If you've been on Red Note, you see how clean and fun and positive the content is. Like, their approach to life is completely different. They don't have a winner takes all kind of culture. They would never subject their own people to something like this. Even though their exposure, or our exposure to the world, helps us, it just also goes to show that America isn't the greatest place in the world. I'm extremely gun shy when it comes to creating content, just in general, because I know there's always someone at the top that can turn the apps off. And I think that for us content creators, one thing that we need to learn and always have in the back of your head is that this could go away at an instant, at any time. And that while you're eating good right now, things can change. For those of you who have been making money, that could change. Policies change, industries change, and for shops to survive, they can't keep doing business the same way. So for people that are receiving a lot of money from selling things, you need to diversify. You can't rely on just the merchants. I've worked in technology too long to see that nothing ever stays the same. There's nothing that stays the same. They find more ways to take a larger cut, to use your videos without compensating you. Like, there's just always someone in the background thinking of a way to get a larger piece of the most or least powerful people. That would be you and me in this scenario. We're always the people with the least amount of power, and they have the power to turn the button off. With that being said, this political maneuver has left a bad taste in my mouth. I know that Trump wants to secure a younger demographic. I mean, he has. And this kind of speech sounds like we're winners. We're winners. We're doing this. We're the ones. And you're on my team and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what's happening here. But TikTok lives, and you guys can continue to make your content, and you can pay your bills and stuff like that. But just know that things are going to change. If America has its way, this app will not be the same. Check out my video on why I think Meta bought TikTok on YouTube.